A very good morning to all and one present here. Um, um, First of all, I would like to thank Raju sir for giving me the opportunity to present my views and the work that we are doing at CBRI on promoting bamboo as a mainstream construction material. To start with, in this uh, in the next 40 to 45 minutes, I'll be sharing my experience of bamboo, using bamboo as a building material, and due in the due course of time, I would also share with the learned listeners what people are doing all around the globe in making this material, bringing at par as a mainstream construction material. Okay, to start with, yes, I am quite. I have been listening to all the learned speakers, my colleagues in CBRI, and the ma'am and our uh, Dr. PK Das sir, Kharpe sir, everyone. So I will not repeat anything what they have said, but yes, there are some challenges, and very rightly they have been pointed out and laid down by them, as they are the field experience, with the field experience they have. Now, as a building material, what are the challenges? We have been using this um, bamboo as a building material since ages. I mean, as put forward by this trivias, I would say ki, which generally we researcher do not have that exposure to, and rightly said by Dr. Manjunath ma'am, and all 1/5 of the world population are still living in this dwelling units that are being constructed using this building material. Now, if it is that, since that old everything is there, then what are the challenges? Why it is not becoming mainstream? Is it fighting the perception that it's a poor man's material? So I would like to, during my course of this presentation, I would like to add what are the perception it has, and is it even possible to change it now. And what are the that if we can see, there is a notion that how it performs in elevated temperature. And as I'm a structural engineer, so my concern is we can only design a structure, or any structural engineer can design a structure to its in his satisfaction only when he's uh, satisfied with its engineering properties. So, what are the engineering properties that are affecting it, and how that can be addressed? Then, and the third point, I'll take you through the activities that are being carried out at CSI CBRI, and how all the different groups are involved and contributing. Then this is a very typical situation where knowledge base, as we can generate the knowledge base, that will definitely improve the quality, and that quality can have an impact on the cost. So yes, now to start with, as a bamboo is naturally inherently, it is a composite. Right now we can see there are many, if we talk about RCC. Now, RCC is also a composite. Now, bamboo is a natural composite, but only thing is that it is a nature product, natural product. So it is not it doesn't have it is imperfect. It is perfect in its own imperfections. Having said that, it depends on the topography in the surrounding the climatic areas where it has formed. So if you can see just the microstructure, for a layman, there can be, or the one who sees it in a broader sense, we can see that it is the fibers, the fiber bundles that provides the strength to the this beautiful natural composites. But it's not the case. In the during the course of presentation, I will say there are this parenchyma. How parenchymas are nothing but the structures, the holes, the network, the matrix that holds this fiber bundles together. Now, what role that have, how that impacts the strength or engineering properties of the material. We'll try to have a perception of that. Now the process, round bamboo right now in the construction sector, in when we talk about using bamboo as a construction material in a structural form, generally we have various processes. The round form, if it is cut and processed and clean drying, it becomes a wood which become a scrimber, and from here we can be glued and make as a plyboard, and the process continues. But generally, right now in this particular presentation, I would like to confine myself with this type of round culm bamboo. It can structural form of using round culm bamboo. I personally believe this particular form is a type of thing which generally has a low energy demand, and it is in the natural avatar that mother nature has given us. Other than this, the other things, generally this incorporates various energy intensive processes, be it gluing and pasting, or be it other chemical or factory treated things. This particular thing is in a natural. So let's talk about in this particular session, let's talk about this particular form in its structural application lemma. Okay, as already mentioned by various um, uh, people, that this segregation of bamboo generally can be graded into three sub main special grades. And again, this is according to our NBC 2016 guidelines, part 6. These are out of n number of species that are found in our country. 16 species, as mentioned by previous speakers. 16 species has been laid down by our NBC, which can be used for structural application in construction sector. In this also, these are all very basic properties which to start with. It's like the ABC which we need to, even if when we start to design a structure. Okay, these are some of the codal provisions. As I was listening to, very keenly listening to Dr. Manjunathan ma'am, she had very nicely said. I was listening to Pandey sir also yesterday. Very nicely, our we were forefront in designing, coming up with the codes. That was a great initiative we had taken right now in 1973 method for test for round bamboo and all. But after that, generally it had died down, and we did not show that. Some or other it got lost and all. So what generally happens, if you can see this, even if this course which are recently new, structural designing using bamboo, then NBC, they are very nicely, they have given this joinery issues. One of the major issues in promoting bamboo is bamboo construction is the joinery issues. Now just to if I take a glimpse, take a step into, sorry, into NBC, we can very well say they have very nicely mentioned this joint issue, how this can be joined, the lap joint, this dowel bars. But what will be the failure mechanism? What will be the load carrying capacity if we keep two dowel bars? And what type of dowel bars? These things need to be quantified, which is in a very nascent state, and our code is generally silent on that. Now suppose if we take about this lashed joint. Now this we know this it has to be, or this gazette plates are okay, chalo, it is a still 3 plate, they have mentioned 3 plates minimum it can be used. But when we say about this hole, what should be the spacing of this hole? Because we are not connecting steel with another steel, we are connecting a steel with a natural product, that is bamboo itself is a composite. What will be the failure mechanism? What is the what will be the for example, this is a lash joint, what should be the strength of this joint? And due to the due to the as the time passes, due to this friction, what is the loss in joint strength? Now these things need, until and unless these things are codified, and it brings into in form of design charts, it is very difficult to have a confidence to design the structures. This again, this type of joints, this what should be the planar inclination of this joint, whether nodes should be incorporated, or it should not be incorporated. During the course of time, we found very interesting, I'll say, observation. I have been working in this for the last, if I'm not wrong, around 2.5 3 years, and every day bamboo the experimentation gives something new insight to our understanding. And to be very honest, the result the reasoning of which, not all the reasoning are till known to us even now. Yes, bamboo as a building material, these are renewable, sustainable, protects riverside, strong in parallel direction to fiber, captures CO2. They are very good things. I mean, this gives us a very, motivates us to work. That's good. But what it's that lacks of standard, absence of design books, no regular subject. Yeah, this is what my previous learned speakers have been saying. We do not have, um, in curriculum where civil engineering students have even exposed to low engineers confidence, as I said, because of lack of our design engineering properties or values. And so if the goal is to move to practice to practice bamboo in the construction, what should we do? And there is another big thing is the supply demand. How to guarantee supply uh, um, demand of that, guarantee a market to, there should be a guarantee of a market to motivate investment in bamboo production, and enough bamboo with high quality, good quality of material should be used to increase user confidence. Now, to guarantee good quality, how to define a good quality? It is either by visual grading, condition, and and when we talk about this visual grading, now it can be with a perception, which can vary from person to person. It can be condition geometric properties, and condition properties can vary. Then according to this, we have this ISO standards. The moisture content determines, determine using traditional process, and using moisture meter still needs to be codified. I mean, it is still, I'll say, it is in a black box where it needs modification, and more thought needs to be given to it. Then what are the good practices that ISO standard has revealed? Harvesting and post harvesting processes, preservation and drying processes, transportation and storage. What should be the these protocols? Though these are all laid down, but still it needs to be looked into in a better in a holistic manner. And grading, is it possible that if this grading can be given a revamp? How, I mean, right now, when this grading is being done using manually from persons, experience, can this be shifted to machine grading? Yes, people are working really hard in mainstreaming it, and with I'm very hopeful ki within next year or so we can have systems where we can have the protocols of algorithms where we can generate machine grading uh, algorithms for grading of bamboo. Now, if I just simply go into this joinery systems which people has been using, these are these are traditional, which looks beautiful. Then again, I said, but lacks engineers' confidence. There is what is the strength criteria? What will be the loss in strength after when you subjected to fatigue loading, because the structures are lightweight, though these are all from earthquake point of view, these are very stable. I mean, it doesn't have any that much effect, but for it is more susceptible to wind loading. Now if we come out this type of structure, this man-made, these are all traditional and it was going well, our forefathers have been using. But when we go about this systems jointing using bolted joints, this creates an issue because there is a difference in coefficient of thermal expansion between this natural product, that is bamboo, and this ms or this steel pins. Now what effect it will have? It will have a generally a drastically detrimental effect on these connections, because I mean, because of difference in coefficient of thermal expansion, and that is really not a good thing in a long run. Now, to how to overcome this, we have to join the structures, and we cannot use this. I mean, it is not preferred. So what should be the, yeah, people are working, and yes, these are there are these are the easiest. The easiest one is to have these dowel connections, creating nut and bolt. But yes, in the long run, in the sense, if it is a climate with which generally has a difference in a large difference in day and night temperature, or maybe in the summers and all, it can become very hot, and that will affect this natural material bamboo in a very wrong way. So yes, there are certain types of joints. I'll not. I mean, these are all in literature and can be available. There are basically 6 types using traditional joints, I'll say, using dowel. How and to be. I mean. If we look into it majorly, we do not have choice right now where dowels can be made of any compatible grade material with bamboo. It is still made with the same steel material, and it really affects that. Now, grading we can say this it is sampling. Basically, grading, when we talk about try to do a project for any take up a project, we as bamboo, as a building material, we need to grading. Visual grading, visual generally comply with grading rule condition, whether it has got insect, fungal damage, fissures, or properties, moisture, the moisture content, diameter, thickness, internodal length, taper, what is the bow. Now, these are all codified by our own IS code. What should be the taper length according to the height? What should be the minimum dia, minimum thickness of the wall? These are all, right now it is all prescriptive. Now, if we are not doing that, so what will be the degradation in strength? What role the OD means outer dia, and the ID plays in strength, in imparting strength to the bamboo culm? Now this needs to be well codified, documented, so that yes, we have the confidence to use as a main grade structural material. Now, coming out from moving from visual to machine, if is it even possible to grade this natural material using machine learning? Yes. How it can be the grading with visual override criteria? I mean, machine grading repeatability, it will be definitely be a repeatability calibration. We do not have to wait for a person from with certain experience. I mean, it will be an open platform, and those algorithms can be designed which will be definitely free of cost, and those can be helpful to come out from human error and time consuming. So yes, secondary properties can also be machine graded, like species, extensive studies. I mean, yes. Now, till now, if majority of the studies have been done on the fibrous constituent of bamboo fiber. Yes, generally we know that when we test when bamboo structure is loaded, it has a tendency that it sags, which generally does because of low E value. Then generally we have the splitting issues. These are all because of the fiber. The fiber are placed in longitudinal direction, and once this uh, this is it splits, it creates some issues. But what about the non-fiber constraints? Does it has any role in it? Well, that is, in fact, does it has a role. I mean, if you can see, these are all bundles. These are all bundle fibers. If my if I'd like to just highlight one small point, uh, the listeners can correlate. We have ITZs. We have ITZs in concrete matrices. Now, how the ITZ roles plays a role? We have weaker zones. We have a stronger, aggregate cement mortar. Now, the same thing, the non-fibrous constraint also plays a major role in designing in determining the joint criteria. Now, this is the Professor Rich in 2020. It's a latest paper where he has calibrated and tried to correlate how, this is a zoomed view how the non-fibrous component is playing a role. Now, if we say about, now, this is a very, I mean, interesting parenchyma thing. Now, suppose we need to, I hope the cursor are moving, the screen cursor is moving. Okay, fine. Now, if you can see, this is a bamboo. If I need to test it under compression, so we'll put the bamboo and we'll compress it. If it fails, so what we say, okay, this is the fibers that has yielded, splitted, and it has given away. So we say that is the load. Now, what about how to say that this is the fibers? Now, I want to test the parenchyma. I mean, the matrix which holds these fibers. Now, how do I do that? How can I separate the bamboo fibers from the parenchyma and test the strength of the parenchyma? Because it will not only have a, I mean, for my engineering students and faculties, structural engineering students and faculties who have joined this, they will appreciate there are two type of nonlinearity: one material nonlinearity and one geometric nonlinearity. So if the material nonlinearity needs to be studied, we need to have the material extracted from that, which is again a difficult thing. Now, if we try to start to take the geometric nonlinearity material, chalo, we can do a slicing and take the same out of it and test it under the microscope. We can see that. But what about the geometric nonlinearity? It is just see this. We have removed the fibers. I mean, the Prof Dixon, he has removed the fibers, and this is the parenchyma model. Now, this all credit goes to this particular professor. He has taken a 3D scan, then printed it, and then he has tried to study the role it has, its component in imparting strength, and he has done some micromechanical testing to I'll not elaborate on it, but he has given a conclusion कि the lateral resistance कहाँ से आता है? Lateral resistance in where we are trying to design a structure. I mean, for compression, under compression, fibers hold good, but when we say any lateral loading, this parenchyma holds good. I mean, this is the critical. We need to strengthen the parenchyma. We cannot strengthen. So it all will come. Yesterday, one of the speaker was asking, do we have limit state design guidelines? We do not have. The reason being is these are all in the nation state, and we all are trying to contribute our 2 cents into this. How much, and this is it is coming up, and it in a very short time from now, maybe in a year or two, we'll definitely have codes for that. And when we understand the material well, so yes, when we design a lateral loading supporting system, we have to take the limit states, considering into the strength of parenchyma into the design concentration. Now, moving forward, they're all micro mechanical testing possibilities, which are in a very advanced state. These are all very latest paper, and how the wage when we have to test. I mean, it can be referred to. I will not much detail on it. Now, this comes a capacity-based design approach. How capacity-based design approach? During the course of the presentation slides, I will say why this capacity has come. Now, when we talk about bamboo as a structural material, now we know a RCC, we know what is the failure criteria we need to design the structure for. For example, we always under reinforce the RCC component. Now, in this particular thing, to which failure we will say the failure is a probable failure, it is a failure which we need. Now, people are working where sorry, I have not mentioned the paper name. I think it is missing, but no issue. This is it's a paper of it's a work of Dr. Pradhan. N. Pradhan, he's a researcher in Hong Kong University, where he has tried to develop, where he's saying we will not allow the bamboo to yield. Before that, the dowel should yield, because he has given a notion which again it has got some limitations, but yes, he has given an approach which has a positive and negative to it. Now, what positive it has? We will not allow the bamboo to yield. Now, that creates some issues, if issues which can be addressed by taking the type of connection details with bamboo and with the steel and the bamboo detailing. In the due course of time, I will try to show that. Now, coming to this, now, what about elevated temperature? Generally, we have a notion ki this is a wood and it can get burned, right? It can burn, and and in fact, it is. It is. I mean, we have been I personally have few experiences, and the speakers who are from industry, they might have also yeah. Okay, there are few I think in the last 6 to 7 in the last year itself, there are few bamboo buildings, forest research, forest guest houses and offices which were gutted into fire completely when a fire took place. So what are the, I mean, can it be designed? Can it can be addressed? So, well, it can be. It can be like what concrete itself. We do not build buildings only of concrete. We do use RCC. Now, if that can be composite, so here why not? So can that be an address to it? Yeah, to some extent, yes, we can. Now, suppose we do not use. I'll just go. Now, when this would take place, there is a charring effect take place. When there is initiation factors affecting, then there is a progression model, rate of charring. Now, when the charring takes place, same thing happens with bamboo also. I mean, bamboo, considering this as a wood, so this char depth needs to be controlled. We need to control the char depth in order to come up with design guidelines. Now, these are all this charring depth criteria, this empirical analytical equations has been taken, and people have designed from wood design theory, timber design theory of this European code, which are well laid down, and it appears to be in sync with softwood design theory. If we can see, we should take time to appreciate the level of thing which wood engineering has done, the moisture content, the wood water bond ratio. We all have this empirical, and which holds good to some extent for for this softwood bamboo theory. Now these are charring depth, and based on this we have carried out some experiments, and I'll try to show you on that also. These are all heat flux versus ignition time. These are all given by researcher. Now I think I'll just skip. This is performance of engineered bamboo beams. When we engineered the bamboo, so what will be the if effect, how the mass loss is taking place, and can it be controlled. Now these are all the things I'll just try and these are some instrumentation, how it can even load deflection curves. At the end of the day we need load deflection curves to see whether how in the they're all, though these are all ultimate capacity fire design. Yeah, these are the strain cross sectional variation, how the cross section varies. They're under fire loading. Now, yes, the strain distribution at the mid-span cross-section is linear for all specimen, as you can see. So no premature breakdown of the adhesive system is used, because adhesive system kahan se aaya? Adhesive system, because these are all engineered woods. Generally, it is not the case, because as I said, these are not in the natural avatar. Bamboo is not in the natural avatar, and but yes, it can be, yeah. So it can, simple sectional analysis can be carried out to find out the moment carrying. Now this particular gentleman, they are all recent papers, and all credit to good. They have come up with this the E values in tension and compression at elevated temperature. So and he has given, I will not take these are all under compression, these are all under tension, and again compression and tension, uh, and he has given this proposed formula. This is an ambient, this is from 150, this is from 150 to 250. So the thing is that yes, there are some reduction in the E values, but yes, it can be designed. We have the values. The failure mode, a structural designer, apart from the values, the E values, and this we are more concerned in the nature of failure, how it is a ductile failure. Is it giving sufficient warning before before it loses its uh, strength, how it is, how the post yield behavior takes place. So that is how which inculcates. Until unless we have those graphs, that will not inculcate confidence in civil engineers. Yes, he has given. And yes, now coming to the what activities we have been doing at CBRI, and how different laboratories of CBRI, different departments of CBRI are contributing in making in taking this forward. So yes, to start with, this is a bamboo species we have started. This is a Bambusa balcoa, sourced from Assam, and these are all untreated. We are yet this is all completely untreated bamboo. These are the strain, the taper limits. They can, again, these are all according to the basic things that all our IS code provides. We all have this IS codes, and which has very nicely codified all the processes of for at least grading. Now this is 50 years, 30, minimum 30 40 years back. 74 में code आया था. It's good enough. So can we move from this to make it mainstream? Yes, we are working in developing algorithms, and we are sure by incorporating, I think if in a very near future, we will be able to have machine grading for this. Now this is internodal spacing. This small, in this, only on this this slide I can talk for for hours and hours, but I'll not do that. From our experiences and all that, if you can see this nodes, there is a general perception, and when we started working, we were okay, we are of the view that nodes increases the strength of the bamboo as a structural material. But no, it is not the case. Nodes, in fact, decreases the strength as of the pole. Now how do we find that? We could find that by testing each and every. Now again, the strength, and in strength also, if you talk, Now I'll again narrow down it to compressive strength, because if I start giving an idea of compression, tension, and shear which we are working, then it will be a, no 2 to 3 days only. If I'll keep on speaking, then also it will not be an end. And such a interesting, so many things to be tell. Only if I talk about the compressive strength. Now, uh, the compressive strength, generally what code says, it increases uh, from bottom to top. This is the bottom, this is the top. It is the compressive strength which increases, but load carrying capacity does not increases. Load carrying capacity तो नीचे वाला का ही ज्यादा होता है, no doubt. Now if I am want to compare, how could I say that the node it contributes less to the late node decreases the strength? Because what I did is, while testing this, we took 1 meter samples with which contained um, 3 nodes, the other contains 2 nodes, to only to see how the node is contributing. And we then fall back to the established literatures, which they have also corroborated with our views. Yes, node do decrease the strength, but nodes are part of the system. We cannot cannot give away with the nodes. Then why this thing is all about? Is this a futile exercise? No. Now once node, we know node are of it's an integral part, then why to discuss so much on nodes? It is no doubt an integral part, but the thing will it becomes more valuable when we use this, no, according to our wish, in the form of, suppose it is in the form of connections, or trust members. So we should give a connection here, or here, or somewhere here. That we should be in a that should be in a justifiable form, in form of datas and numbers. Until unless I can start connecting it from here, or someone can say, no, why to from here, why not to connect from here? So to have this interval, we are trying. And when I say key nodes decreases the strength, but it just changes when we try to have an infill in the form of cement concrete, or in the form of even if sand. I mean, to increase the rigidity of the material. No, so there is something more than the eyes can see, or the numbers can corroborate. Now these are all internodal species, internodal spacing in the same thing, from distance from the node from the ground, how it is changing, and how we have, when we have tested, why we took 230 as a standard length of the specimen that we have tested. Now to move ahead, yes, this is a variation in moisture content. Now moisture content, this is a species which has been this is a 3.5 years old harvested species procured from Assam. Now, how in a normal condition, how this moisture content varies uh, over the period of 60 to 70 hours we tested. Again, it is from our own code. We should, I mean, the testing procedure has been laid out, and it was followed, and this is how a typical moisture profile looks in a real time scenario. Now we all our this artisans and all them, they all come up with the fact that bamboo splits, and it does splits, because whenever we are putting a bolt or nut, so we try to find out what is can we put a stiffener, and yes, we try to do that, and there were some interesting results how from the splitting earlier. I mean, these are all, I think we have taken a wrong pick. We should have compared a normal. No issue. I'll say, if there is a normal without a stiffener, the failure pattern will completely pass from the top to bottom platen to top platen to bottom platen. But when we are putting a stiffener, so it does arrest it, and the failure pattern changes. And does it excites? Does it takes the rule? Oh yes. Just it can be just for a preliminary. I mean, these are all raw datas. So these are all compressive strain. If you say this is a loading carrying capacity of a bamboo panel, a bamboo pole, yeah, specimen without stiffener, and how a stiffener is taking the gradual load. I mean, these are quite fascinating. Then we did a lot of testing key when we do the connections, how the strength of the bamboo decreases or increases when we try to put various type of connections, and we have got very good insight uh, into it. There's pin, this dowel pin. Now, what is the optimum size, and what is the optimum size of this dowel pin? Why only 8 mm? I mean, in the market, which is why only 8 mm? Why not 12 mm? Definitely they have come up with it decreases the strength, but how much? What is the optimum size? Now, if we do not if we remove this dowel bars and change it with this bamboo pins, how does it values does it have a positive impact? Oh yes, it does have. Control specimen, I mean, these are all 1 meter, we tested 1 meter specimens, and we have got very beautiful insight. What about our connections? If we are led, then what is the decrease in strength? So even if if we are adding stiffness, so what are the challenges we face when we do a stiffener which goes when at a bigger stage? I mean, these are becoming challenges. Now the thing is that how to have a what are the parameters that affects the strength of these things. So for a single specimen, we have five parameters. I mean, five parameters which plays and its role in determining the quantification of that. I mean, and we could do it, and these are all the gradual variations. Then yes, what are all the significance? I mean, weight, height, id, thickness, how it plays. I mean, it has got individual collaboration contribution, how individual components yeah, contribute in overall strength of the material. Now, these are all supervised machine learning people are trying to do. We have also tried to incorporate. They're in very nascent state, but yes, which has a very got a very promising thing, which which will help in making bamboo as a main grade stretching material. And by the only purpose of discussing these things and is to uh, um, fight the perception that no, bamboo is no more a poor man's material. It is as good as, in fact, if not better, at comparable with the conventional building materials like cement and concrete. Now, this again with the opening, how the load and opening size changes, and how the gradual strength decreases. These are again, while doing that, we faced so many issues in machining and all. So this is a typical thing which we have created. uh, because of IP issues, I cannot show the main photo, but it is in a state. But yes, this is how we have created, and it has got a promise. Once it comes, we'll try to disseminate it to the public. Yes, now comes the numerical modeling. Now, experimentation is not an end to it. We have to go with numerical modeling until unless to escalate, scale it. We can say the economics, in economics we say this scaling effect, how we can scale it to the yeah. Now testing and there are 16 species. If we talk about, and the 16 species, strictus is there, bamboo sabalcoa, tulda, so many other things there. I discuss, I keep on discussing with my friends in IPRITI and other research organization which they are working. And I mean, there are many things which if we start doing experiment and all, so it will take ages, if not and the crux of this thing is we do not have time. Nobody has time. I mean, we cannot wait, like what Das sir was sharing his experience yesterday regarding that Meghalaya project. We do not have time generally. So and there the numerical modeling can play a great role. Now, numerical modeling, we say, now this and numerical modeling, what are the challenges? The challenges is how to model the gradual variation. We can it be a static linear model, can it be a stepwise function? What are the coefficient of variations? How the rule of mixture can be incorporated? What will be the random variations? Can it be, I mean, these are all so it is this thing we this is the it's given by this professor. I mean, he's a pioneer in in bamboo construction and engineering, and and to, yes, we are following his on that basis we are developing this numerical modeling. We are now, these are all dowels. I'll just skip to this. This is a dowel, how the dowel bar fails. Yes, this is a typical during the course of my interaction with many small scale building, this cottage developers who develop cottage for small scale part I mean clients. So generally we are talking about so many things, numerical modeling, nonlinear regressional, so many material characterization. But in field, what they are doing in the field, they for a G+2 cottage, from their experience, they are generally 3-pole system, 4-pole system. These are all I think this is the area where has a high wind load capacity. So they are coming up with, they are using the small strips, but are they viable? What about the multi-hazard scenario? Till what wind strength it can withstand by. So that, to assess that, we have modeled it in Abacus. And yes, we are coming, we are modeling, and we are getting very good results out of that. Now, how to plastic hinges, how the formation of plastic hinges take place. These are the type of experiment. This is a bamboo pin, how the it takes place, and how the failure pattern is take place. Now the and another interesting thing coming more is how when we put this type of any dowel bars. This is a composite itself. It's a natural composite, and this dowel bars is another though it can be of steel, or it can be of concrete, it can be of bamboo. How it reacts, how the strain variation it take place. We all know when we put a bamboo pin or a dowel bar, it fails. So one of in our laboratory, we have this facility of DIC. It's a 2D DIC. Um, with Dr. Ganesh, we tried to perform experiments in his lab, where in this system we tried to put put bamboo species with various type of openings, pins, and just to see strain variation, how it takes place. After the end of this presentation, I'll show some videos where, if there is a pin, it's a dowel, or any other thing, how the material is behaving. The material is saying what is the stress formation, stress contours. If we know that, we can design where exactly we can do a hole, or we can do a opening for connecting. So these are all very interesting thing which you have found out. Now again, these are all these are all that they are completely raw images, raw data, which we are producing. Actually, I'm just showing 10% of this, because it is need to be published. These are all things. So but yes, but I would like to see how what this red color shares. I'll show you the videos where it shows key, where how the stress variation is taking place for this limited height. Yes, this are all. This is actually, this white jo hai, it is a process. It is a process where actually it takes at a particular rate, it takes the photos, and from those photos is correlated how the strain variation is taking place. This is a beautiful facility that we have here. And yes, yes, I'll show you the videos where how when there is an opening, how the stress formation is taking place. And then again, from obtaining those things, we generate deflection curves and stress strain curves of any material, any composite of bamboo is of great demand. And we are yet to, these are all in a prelim state. These are not exactly true stress strain curves, because because of the Platon effects. But yes, to give a thorough to initiate this over one perception, yes, we do have. These are all. Then under fire, we tested something. So this this were some results. I'll just yes. Generally, these are some observation that we found for bamboo under elevated temperature around 200-degree. Bamboo retains 20% of the compressive strength, 70% of this modulus of elasticity. At 200, above 200, at 200, around 42% of the tensile strength. Then when compared to timber, bamboo experiences similar reduction in compressive strength. Stress strain constitutive models needs to be developed if we need to come up with the more um, engineering or limit state based design. And then moisture content varies along the length of the bamboo culm. Size of the opening of the bamboo culm affects the load carrying ability. The rate of decrease in FCK, load carrying capacity decreases 1.5 times to every 30% increase in opening size. So we should be very careful. This doesn't talk with the bamboo pin. Bamboo pin or dowel bars. How dowel bars take place? It is totally different game altogether. Stiffener helps to stabilize the vertical splitting. Now, how stiffener helps? It's by stabilizing the adjusting the crack, local crack. But what should be the optimization? We cannot have stiffener of n. We should have the of what should be the thickness, ideal thickness of the stiffeners, which do not incorporate lateral instability to the system. So yes, we are we are still, it is a ongoing work, and partial safety factor needs to be designed depending on the reliability indexes. And yes, future scopes, good documentation practice needs to be done. Machine grading is the future. We should that will inculcate the confidence of the designer and researcher. We generally do not have an issue of using LNT cement generally. Or be XYZ cement, because we know it is a factory graded, it is a machine graded material. And that confidence can only have when we have a system where the machine, we put the structural part, we put the our building material in it, and it will just grade A, B, C. And I have not shown, but yes, we have taken some good initiative in in seeing the how this machine grading can be done. Database. Now many people are working in this determining the geometrical physical significance properties, how it is changed. But a database needs to be created. It will be of great help in promoting bamboo as a mainstream material. Then failure modes, I say identification of failure modes. It is not only the load. If it doesn't have a post yield behavior, and then it will not be that thing which can develop. Yes, failure modes needs to be identified. Develop test methods for connection. ISO standard we do have, but for connections, yes, it needs to be developed. And yes, with these words, thank you everyone for your patience here. And everyone, if there is any queries, I'm open for the discussion. Thank you.